Alrighty, so we have Sarah Alpar versus Stephanie Egger. Egger has a 2-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. I think Alpar is a little small for bantamweight. She could probably make flyweight easily, in my opinion, but yeah, it is what it is. Sarah Alpar, she's a southpaw, pretty much just looking at level change on the feet, not really looking to strike too much. Basically just throws the straight left to try and close the distance and then get into the clinch or just get into a takedown shot. So yeah, overall I think she's pretty uncomfortable on the feet, doesn't seem like she likes getting hit very much, a lot of big reactions to avoid strikes of her opponents, and she also turns her back away from strikes at times, Yeah, it doesn't look like she likes being hit very much. For Egger, she's quite long, so she'll throw the 1-2. She'll kind of reach for her opponent a lot though, and that can leave her a bit open on the feet. She telegraphs her strike and entries a lot. She backs up in a straight line. Both aren't going to beat many fighters on the feet at UFC level, but where they like it to be is probably on the ground. I think Sarah Alpar definitely wants it to be on the ground. She looks for the reactive double. She'll dive for a low single. She can try and force the finish on her takedowns by just kind of falling over, falling back, just hoping her opponent kind of falls down with her and then she can end up on top. Doesn't have the best technique on her takedowns. When she does get you to the ground, she looks to take the back and, look for a rear naked choke or flatten you out, look for some ground and pound from there. But she'll also give her back, pretty much every time she gets up or every time in a scramble when she turns around. If you start punching her a little bit in the clinch, she'll turn her back because she doesn't like being hit, as I said before. For Egger, she's got a black belt in judo. She has a nice hip toss, doesn't have the best top control, and she tries to go for that risky back take in a scramble quite often. Good example is Brendan Allen versus Tom Breeze, where Tom Breeze tried to take Brendan Allen's back in the over-under clinch, and then pretty much he just ended up on his back. So that can just happen to Egger. That's, when she tries to do that. I'm going to skip the how they win part. I don't think either are probably UFC level, and I don't know how they beat people at UFC level. I need to see more. How these guys lose. So for Egger, she has poor get-ups. For Alpar, she's undersized at 135. I think she'd even be undersized at 125. I think she had a few flyweight fights, but anyway, just where she's been at most in her career is 135, and she gets muscle around a lot by the 135ers, and also her grappling tendencies that we discussed before. Past to victory, so for Egger, look for the judo throws in the clinch, and then look to take the back once she gives it, look for those short shots in the clinch, and then look to take the back when she turns around. For Alpar, look for the reactive double when she tries to close distance. As I said before, she telegraphs her strike and entry, so look for the level change there, and then look to take her back, or just look for top control, because, as I said before, she doesn't have the best get-ups. So how I see the fight going, so, for obvious reasons, I didn't look too deeply into this one. In the stand-up, this is probably the only woman in the weight class that I'd favour Egger to beat on the feet. Both are terrible strikers, but Alpar literally just doesn't want to strike at all, so I think Egger wins the stand-up by default, just by being a little bit more comfortable there, and she's just naturally the better striker anyway. In the clinch, I've seen Alpar get thrown around before, even by smaller women's bantamweights like Jessie Jess. So yeah, I've got to favour the bigger Egger. Also, she has that judo background. She'll probably be able to throw around a lot. She's got a lot more experience in the tie-ups. I think she'll be able to win the clinch battle there. So pretty much whoever's on top will be winning the ground battle, because both can take each other down. Whoever wins will be just whoever shoots first, in my opinion. It is what it is. So I love Jessica Rose Clark, but if you're getting dominated by her, you probably don't belong in the UFC. You know what I mean? And for Egger, she got dominated by Tracy Cortez, semi-competitive, I guess you could say, but, it wasn't really competitive. It was, Tracy Cortez was in control pretty much the whole time. And, Tracy Cortez, she's okay, but, she's not going to be, top 10 or whatever. And you're getting dominated by her, fair enough, I guess. That's better than being dominated by Jessie Jess, Sarah Alpar was dominated by Jessie Jess. If you're getting finished by accumulated damage by Jessie Jess in an absolute beatdown where they're pretty much every round's a 10-8, you probably don't belong in the UFC. I'm really sorry, but yeah, it is what it is. So overall, I think Edgar gets a takedown, gets her back, subs her, or gets enough top control to win a decision. Definitely not confident in the pick. Anything could happen. It's very low level women's strawweight. Both can take each other down. Both can land on the feet just an equal amount. It's just, yeah, it's just who wants it more, I think. So yeah, let's have a look at the line. Yeah, so I favour Edgar, and I think she gets it done by decision probably. Or maybe even finds a submission, but I'll just say decision. And yeah, I do think she does win, but I don't think it's by that much of a margin. I think it's probably a pretty close fight. I think the line should be closer to a pick'em, if anything. I favour her around 55 to 50% of the time. I think I'd just edge her. But yeah, the value's probably on Alpar, but I'm not going to rush to the betting window to bet Sarah Alpar after her last performance. But, I think if you're going to bet anything, it's probably her. But yeah, pretty uninterested in this fight, and yeah, I don't really want to bet it. I might not even watch it, honestly.